I can still remember my mother saying, "Girls, you're getting on my nerves." Well, no, that's not really true. I think my sisters would tell me I was getting on their nerves. And at the time, I was just being me. I mean, oldest of four girls, a little bossy. I thought I was in charge. Little did I know that nerves were so important. And I really found that out not so much when I was younger, but when I was paralyzed in the hospital. Yeah, paralyzed on the left side of my body for 2 weeks. Never really had been in the hospital that long. But I was in the hospital because I had chemotherapy, and then 2 days after my last chemotherapy, I got a stroke. I didn't know I was about to have a stroke. I mean, I was in the video store, I was checking out videos, and when I went to grab them, I couldn't get them. I didn't give it any thought. Went to bed later that night, and when I began to get up, I couldn't move. And that started everything. Because suddenly, I couldn't get on anybody's nerves because I couldn't feel my own nerves. I had a stroke and I was paralyzed. Initially, I think I was mentally paralyzed. I mean, I shut down. People came to visit me in the hospital, and I didn't even remember that they visited me. But then there was this kind of magical moment when the doctor said, "You know, you might not be able to move really quickly. It might take some time." I was like, "Oh no, you are wrong. I don't care how many degrees you have. You are not telling me that I can't walk." And that became the beginning of the magic. Why? Because I started questioning. I awoke from my paralysis. In fact, when people tell me I can't do something, that's when I move into full gear. I knew that doctor, I was going to prove him wrong. So he said to me, "You're in bed, you're in the ICU, but if you want to start the process before we eventually send you to physical therapy, think in your mind about moving. Think about just wiggling your fingers, wiggling your toes." And so I began that process. And little by little, it happened. And I remember one day saying to the nurse, "I can move my finger." And she looked at me with sort of disbelief and probably not really caring. And then all of a sudden, I realized that I was back in control. That's right. Franne McNeal in control. This is the moment. So when people ask me, what was it like having a stroke? I don't actually remember what it was like having a stroke, but I do remember what it was like being paralyzed for 2 weeks. The lack of control, the not feeling, the immobilization. And that, for me, kind of created in my mind, and the folks that know me know that I kind of like to put things into words and a way of remembering things. That created for me the N.E.R.V.E.S paradigm. N.E.R.V.E.S is about recognizing that whether it's physical or mental or spiritual paralysis, that you are in control, even if your body isn't. And that in fact, where you think you want to be is where you need to focus. Nurture your belief that you can do and move as quickly and as far as you want to go. Elevate your highest possibility. Don't let anybody say that you can't. I remember when I was in physical therapy and the therapist said to me, "It's going to hurt me more than it will hurt you if you fall," because she wanted me to walk. And I said, "I'm not ready to walk. I've been paralyzed. I've been, in paralysis. I've been immobile." And she said, "Look, just take the first step. After that, It might be hard, it might be easy, but take the first step. So that whole idea of just not letting anything get in the way, elevation is critical. Relax. That's really hard for me. Again, I like to be in control, but relaxing and accepting that as much as you try, your body and your brain needs time to regenerate. V, value time. Value time. It's going to go on with or without you, and to the degree that you enjoy every moment, time will be so much more luxurious. Get excited. That's right. Sometimes when you're paralyzed, and again, whether it's mental or physical, if you focus on the excitement, if you imagine yourself moving, that's really what matters. Because, kind of like Disney says, if you can see it, you can believe it. And finally, I've mentioned it before, but accept the fact that your senses, and most of us have 5, some of us have more. As women, we always have that 6th sense. Use all of your senses. So approach life with this sense of exploration. Even though you might be paralyzed, don't let your nervousness get a hold of your nerves. Instead, nurture, elevate, relax, touch hold, grab hold of your value system. Be excited and enjoy your senses.